Thank you, Heidi. So I think a few of you already know me, but I'm Kirsty. I'm the ELA Hubmaster for the UK. And then obviously I'm here with Pete Markey. And Pete, maybe you want to just start by introducing yourself and telling us a bit about your career journey so far.
Happy to. So brilliant. Thank you, Kirsty. Great to chat to you this evening. Thanks everyone for joining, and apologies again, we had to move this from earlier on the day. We're knee deep in the festive season, and it's just meant that a few diary changes, but all is good. But lovely to see you all. As Kirsty has said, I look after marketing for Boots in the UK and Ireland. I've been doing that for just under 4 years now, and get to work on this wonderful brand. That's all about being with customers through the journey of life, from the highs to the lows, everything from the healthcare stuff we provide to all the lovely, wonderful beauty products we provide, and everything in the middle. Fantastic brand. So a lot of my history has led up to this point, really, career-wise. So I've worked in financial services, utilities, including mobile phones. I've sold breakdown cover, done banking, insurance, all sorts of stuff along the way. But at its heart has been about measuring performance really well, showing that marketing is an investment, not a cost, driving loyalty and brand commitment, and having great customer experience, great interactions, and great propositions. And I've had a lot of fun along the way. I've got to work with some amazing brands, but I've never been happier or felt more, rewarded in a job, actually. And I mean that in the sense of the great work I get to do with brilliant people that I do at Boots, because it's just such a lovely brand to work on. And we'll talk a little bit about that as we go through this. But yeah, everything's led me to this point. Been great.
So then do you want to tell us a little bit more detail around your kind of current role right now with Boots, and then also Boots as a company? You obviously seem to be really happy working for them, so it'd be good to hear a little bit more about that.
Yeah, no, happy to. Golly, you might have to shut me up, Kirsty, as well. So I'm actually sat in Boots' office at the moment. The subliminal logo above my head's a bit of a giveaway. We're in Nottingham, and Boots as a business is 175 years old. Started by John Boot all that time ago in a mission to democratize healthcare. So he recognized that only people with a lot of money could afford to look after themselves and could afford to stay healthy. And he wanted to make a stand to say that's not good enough. I want people of all backgrounds to be able to afford healthcare. And everyone tried to shut him down. He was trying to take on a monopoly of people making a lot of money. They tried to shut him down and they couldn't. His son, Jesse, and his amazing wife, Florence, then took up the mantle and grew the business brilliantly. Florence was a pioneer in female leadership. She got herself into all sorts of trouble with lots of not particularly nice characters of the day, because she just stood out and made a difference. She was one of the first people to train women in working in stores. She was one of the pioneers to bring makeup, cosmetics, perfumery to the UK that hadn't been done before. And through the Boot family, this amazing business was pioneered that was quite breakthrough. And we've been able to build, we're standing on the shoulders of giants to build this amazing brand, as I say, 175 years old. We are the UK's #1 health and beauty retailer. We have several thousand stores. We have a fast-growing .com and app business as well. We have 17 million active Boots Advantage card holders. And we have enjoyed the strongest brand health we've seen in many, many years over the last few years, and have seen 14 consecutive quarters of growth in the market, which is not just a result of marketing. That's very much a team effort of a brilliant group of people who brought, I think the critical word is brought more relevance to Boots. When I came into Boots, I was struck by the number of people that said to me, "Oh, you're joining good old Boots." And it actually used to wind me up, actually, because I kept thinking, well, good old Boots is quite recessive. It's at the back of your mind. So with the team, I've created this mantra that we live by, which is to move from good old Boots to, oh my God, wow, Boots. And so every bit of communication, every interaction, we want customers to go, wow, Boots, I need to find out more. I need to go to a Boots store. I need to go online. That's really relevant in my life. I need to do something about it. I never want us to fall into anything that is good old Boots. So the example I'll end this long answer to Kirsty's brilliant question with is as I mentioned, it's our 175th birthday. You probably don't know that, and that's deliberate. So we have done some activity, but at the start of the year, we deliberately said, we're not going to do a self-indulgent, look at us, aren't we great birthday? Because whilst I'm telling you the history, I don't think that affects too much you shopping day. We invented ibuprofen. You may go, oh my gosh, that's amazing. But it doesn't mean you're going to come and buy something from us tomorrow. It's a really interesting stat. And we were determined to not do a sepia-toned indulgent sort of birthday. Our view was and my view particularly, was what matters is we've got 175 years of muscle memory. So when you walk into our stores, you go online, we know beauty and we know health, and we know the roller coaster ride of life, and we can help you on all those things. That's what matters. So it's more important we talk about what we're doing today than what we did 175 years ago, or 75 or 100 or 5 years ago. It's what we're doing right now that matters. So we are an amazing brand. We've got all this history, but for me, the thing I'm obsessed by is the boots of today. Now we keep showing up in a modern, fresh way, and we're there for consumers through every walk of life. I did say I was going to end with this, but I'll end with this bit. So with you for life as a brand purpose, for me, when we landed on that, was really powerful, because so many brands, when you look at their purpose, are about tomorrow. It's like for sunnier tomorrows or better days ahead. You go, well, what about today? And also there are some days that aren't great days. We all go through days, don't we, that aren't brilliant. We go through days that are amazing. And With You for Life says, we stand with you and we're with you. Even if you're having a bit of a crappy day, we're there for those days. But we're also there for brilliant days when you're celebrating something amazing, like you found you're pregnant or you're going to a party or whatever. But we're also there in the dark days when people are battling awful things like cancer. And we're one of those few brands that can say, we stand with you and with you through all those bits. And that's part of, for me, what is the magnet that draws me into Boots every single day to work with this brilliant brand is we can make a difference, and we're with people through all parts of the journey of life.
I think it's been really interesting as a consumer to kind of look at your brand over the last 5 or 8 years, because I certainly remember a moment in time where, for me, good old Boots was probably how I would have described you, and you were kind of reliable and I knew what I was expecting and what I was getting. But then in terms of the in-store shopping experience, the brands available, those kind of things, that relevance certainly took a jump for me in the last kind of few years. And you can start to see that where the brands that influencers are talking about online are now available in Boots as well, and not just available for, extortionate shipping from America or something.
That's a really important point, because that's been a really big shift, actually, especially over the last 12 months, where we've got a number of brands in, like Made by Mitchell being a great example, where these brands explode on TikTok. And for the relevance bit, Bubble, another one, Bioma. There are brands that we stock and you can get online and in many of our stores now, that Korean beauty be another big thing. You just got all these brands but you can get them in Boots. And so part of my team's challenge and opportunity is everything you've described, Kirsty, is to continually communicate and talk to people about those things that are now available in Boots, because everybody knows we sell Number 7 and Soap and Glory. They're brilliant brands, they're great brands, but there are so many other brands now that are matter in people's lives, like the brands you see on TikTok. And we want people to think first, oh, I've seen this brand or trend, I'll go to Boots. Boots must have that, as opposed to Boots being the place you think, really, Boots? And that's back to the way our Boots bit of going, my goodness, what, Boots? Okay, great, I'm definitely going to, because Boots are going to have that. And so we've started that. We've just done a very big beauty campaign called Make More Room for Beauty that's specifically about that. And you'll see that campaign back again next year, because it's done so well for us, particularly the out of home. It's been really disruptive. We have big giant sized bottles of like Bubble and Biome exploding out of the out of home, and it's really disruptive. It's worked really well. And that will come back because we've seen some, great results, and we'll revisit that in the new year.
Okay. So then, given that we're from European Loyalty Association and loyalty is therefore our focus, we've got obviously a few people that are based in Europe and maybe slightly less familiar with Boots and with the Advantage card. So do you want to explain a little bit about the loyalty program that you guys run and what benefits customers get?
Yeah, no problem. So the Boots Advantage card is 27 years old now, which is amazing, isn't it? 1997. That now Tesco in the UK launched the very famous club card. And that started a wave of loyalty schemes that everyone played catch up on. And Boots were, I think, one of the first to market just after, or a year or so after Club Card launched, quite quickly afterwards. It's a phenomenal scheme. And I say that as someone who is both a customer and I work on it. But when coming in, you go, wow, this is a great loyalty scheme. A lot of the loyalty schemes in the UK have cut back on points benefits, or the points are worth so little, they're not really worth much anymore. And they focus very much on the immediacy and the immediate value you can get when you buy stuff in store. Now, we've done that. So we have this thing called Price Advantage, which is this amazing thing that when you use your card in store or online, you get an immediate discount. You get 10% off Boots' own brand products and lots of other things. But that's not only that, we've kept points too. So you still get 3 points in the pound for when you spend in store and online. So you build the points up, plus you also get all of this immediate sort of discount and benefit you get in store as well. We also have a number of clubs that people can join. So you have the parenting club, and the over 50s club where you get 8 points in the pound, and then we have a student club that gives you a 20% discount on top of getting all the points and so on as well. And we have a club called My Beauty that people can get special benefits from too. So it's a hard-working loyalty scheme. It did a few years ago. It went into a bit of decline about 5 or 6 years ago. I think like all these things, because it had lost a bit of its shine and relevance. And so one of my jobs coming in was to like introduce things like price advantage, which I just talked about, the immediate benefit. I helped to introduce that with the team. But also marketing it. I worked out a couple of years ago, we hadn't actually advertised properly the Advantage card for 25 years. It had been in the Christmas 1997 TV advert and not since then in any big way. Wow. So we brought it back, we relaunched it, we spent some good marketing money to relaunch it, and that has added a couple of million extra cardholders. So we're up at 17 million active cardholders now, just shy of that. And it's a really good scheme. And so the reason that number of cardholders matters is twofold. One is, well, I guess it matters in a number of ways, more than twofold, but it matters in the sense, first of all, we're connecting with customers and we're relevant in their lives because we have really good data that means we can serve you the things that matter to you are important in your life, and we're on top of that. And then alongside that, we run through my team something called Boots Media Group. And Boots Media Group is our own media agency. It means that suppliers are able to talk to our customer base through a media buy. So the reason that data is super helpful is if you're something like L'Oreal or Procter & Gamble or Unilever, it means that we can sell a package of benefits, and one of those includes how you talk best to our customers in the right way with the right targeted communication. We never sell data, just to be super clear. It's about access through our channels. We never will sell data either. So it's a really good hardware loyalty scheme that helps us and our supplier base drive growth really hard. And there aren't many schemes left like this in the UK that give you points and immediate benefit and immediate value, like I was saying at the top of this. So it's very much seen as a real value add, and especially at Christmas, people tend to save those points up, and we see higher points redemption because people look to Christmas and go, that's the moment I'm going to get that bottle of, I don't know, Marc Jacobs Daisy or something. I'm saving up for it, and this is my moment, or I'm going to get this for a loved one. So it's very much it's a loyalty card, but it acts as a treat card as well.
This is what I always used to do, save up my points. I bought loads of things for me throughout the year, and then I would use my points to buy people Christmas presents and have free Christmas presents as a student. So
it's a perfect thing, because you are my role model customer. The other bit to say is I forgot to add the makeup. Our customer base is predominantly females. About 85% of our loyalty base are women, because historically for Boots, that's been where we've grown our business from, and that's what the widest appeal has been to women. We've certainly been growing our base of men over recent years, and actually we've just done a big push on health that's helped us to grow that. But it's predominantly women on the Advantage card base, which also puts us in a very unique position in terms of the role we play in women's lives in the UK through health and beauty, and that's something I don't take for granted either.
And then one of the things you've said a couple of times is about 17 million active members. How do you at Boots define active?
It's really important, the active bit, because there are other loyalty schemes I won't mention that name all sorts of numbers. We have 10 gazillion people on our loyalty scheme, and literally you find that there are people that have signed up and then never come back since. Active is have at least used the card in the last 6 months, a couple of times. And so you've got this bit where people are actively engaging with you and using both the points and the card, and that's a really important bit. At least a few times over several months is really important for me, because it shows a pattern of behaviour and shows that people are genuinely leaning in and taking advantage, if you excuse the pun, of the Boots Advantage card. Really matters.
And then we've got a question in the chat. So since the campaign, have you kept some kind of always on communication in your advertising connected to the loyalty program?
Yeah, great question. Yes, we have. So we have really good, can always be better, but we have very good onboarding programs. So people sign up, we take them through a journey, and then we know what to promote and prompt them next. We have very good decisioning engines. We're using AI more now as well to help with that too. So we're able to give as best as we can what we call that next best action thinking and next best action offers and so on. I've got a great team of people sat actually just outside the room I'm in now who do a brilliant job on this every single day. So yes, that does matter. And I think it still is just so I don't dodge the question, it is an ongoing debate there, because the Advantage cards does still show up in our activity, but actually we've decided to weave it in more to what we do than just do standalone like above the line activity. But I wouldn't rule out doing that again, because it works so well, and we create a really clever animated ad that brought to life it brilliantly. The Advantage card was sort of it was like bursting with savings. It was very, very clever, and it worked extremely well. But yes, so never say never to bringing that back again.
Okay, and then you mentioned your great team of people. So moving on a little bit to how loyalty sits within your organization, do you want to tell us a little bit about the team structure that you have and how they work?
Yeah, no, very happy to. So it's changed since I've come in. So we used to have a shared data office function that did all like the selections and the modeling. That changed about nearly 2 years ago now, and the team that works specifically on the Advantage Card loyalty now sit within the loyalty team. So it's like loyalty and CRM and data together, which makes it a much stronger decision making and action unit who can like almost coexist together and create stuff together. So it's a team of people that do everything I've described: the data science, the modeling, the measurement, selections, but also importantly, they're plugged into brilliant sort of program and project managers who are developing all of the route through and all the campaign activity we're doing. We use the Adobe Marketing Cloud, so they're very proficient with that and how we use that. We've had we've done well as a business actually on Sweat It, because often this is my third Adobe Marketing Cloud implementations, because I just love it. I love a good bit of Adobe, and often these things, these implementations fail because you don't change how you work as a team. Whereas we've done that. We've fundamentally overhauled how we work as a team to get the best out of that technology, and I've seen great benefit on the back of it. I'll write a book about it one day. No one will buy it, but it'll be good for my soul. That having,
I suppose third time is you practiced. You know what you're doing with this
yeah,
now.
I hope so. But the brilliant people who work for me are better at this than I am. So that's the way the team's organised. So you've got, and then we also have people who specifically run things like the clubs and look at the Advantage Card strategy and run the sort of IT technical side of any developments we've got going. So it's a very, very busy team. And if you look at this time of year particularly, you can imagine the number of emails and app pushes and things we're doing through now. If you imagine how big it's going to be on Black Friday in was it week's time?
Yeah.
Week's time. Then yes, it's huge. It's a very busy team who are working very, very hard right now, more doubly so. And each year we've had 3 amazing Christmases, and it's always how do you do it again? So the team are on fire, and they are aiming to smash last year's goals already this Christmas. So very exciting.
Well, good luck to them. I'm sure they'll be fine this Christmas. How is loyalty viewed throughout the wider organisation? I know we hear this as a bit of a challenge from some of our members. So,
yeah, I think we have a benefit because, look, we've had to work at this. So if I pedal back from your question, which is a great one, Kirsty, when I walked into Boots, marketing was definitely seen more as a cost. And there was a level of sort of what are marketing doing? People couldn't quite get their head around what we were working on. There was a few things we were involved with as a marketing team that just didn't quite fit the strategy. So I'll give you one example. We were a category sponsor for the England women's football team, and nothing wrong with that. And the England women's football team are amazing and have done amazing things and will keep doing amazing things. We were just not the right sponsor. So the reason I say that is we are synonymous with women's health. So we end up spending money saying to people, hey, we're Boots, we do women's health. And everyone was shouting back at us, yeah, we know that. Great, isn't it? And so it just wasn't doing anything for the brand at all. And therefore, we weren't helping them. They weren't helping us. Therefore, we were the wrong sponsor. So pulling it back from things like that and going, right, where are the real challenges in the brand? Like we have a great loyalty scheme. We're not investing behind it or growing it or changing it. Became more the focal point of let's forget the fringe stuff that's sort of nice brand stuff that is just not doing anything. Let's focus on where we've actually got some opportunities, maybe some challenges. So being able to be that precise, stopping some things and focusing and saying what we're going to do is make the Advantage Card famous and wonderful again. We're going to launch a retail media network. We're going to strengthen the brand health. We're going to go after relevance. We're going to do things like sponsor be a beauty partner for Love Island. We're going to sponsor the Heartbreak for Sherwood Global. Have become things that have just shown demonstrably that we can drive performance and growth. And I think what we've done is grow the business's confidence again in the power of loyalty, whereas it sort of had become a bit tired and dusty. We've re-energized the Advantage Card, and that's not just marketing; it's a whole other team of people that worked on that through things like Price Advantage I talked about earlier on, and marketing it properly again. We've got the business confidence. So up until the point I walked in, the Advantage Card I think had become a bit unloved, whereas now it's seen as an absolute. I guess it's the rocket fuel in our business, particularly our retail media network. From a supplier perspective, if you're a supplier working with us, of course you'd want to talk to the Boots Advantage Card base, and we would encourage that because we know, again, being relevant, again, if obvious point, everyone on this call will know, if you talk to people about the right thing at the right time, amazingly, marketing works, if you do it properly. So that's the lesson we've been on. And so marketing definitely now, including the loyalty card, is seen as an investment. We want to invest behind these things because we know and we've proven that they help drive growth for us and our suppliers.
Okay, so I think that's really good advice for our members then, that they can just, if they can reprove the confidence in loyalty, then the wider organization will get behind it.
I think so. There's also a really bit there, Kirsty, around make sure whatever your loyalty strategy is, how does it, I know it's an obvious point, but how does it fit with your business strategy? So often where I see marketing misfire in a business is where there's a business strategy over here and there's a marketing strategy, the two don't line up. They don't necessarily wrong, but the two don't come together. So the best way to get loyalty back, if you're, I don't know, what's your business strategy? What's it trying to do? And therefore, what's the role of loyalty? And if you can show that I don't, I'm making up. I'm making up. A fictional business wants to grow in under 35s, yeah.
Yes.
And your loyalty scheme can do that. Go and show that, and go. Actually, a way to unlock this is this thing here we've already got, or we could do this differently. Then it becomes rocket fuel. If it sort of sits at a distance, so you sort of grow in this loyalty base, but the business strategy is to do something different or go in a different direction, then you've got this big misalignment. Again, I know it sounds obvious, but the more you get this together and go, these are the same thing, and our role in loyalty is to drive and be the heart of growth. Then suddenly everything starts firing again, and that was the Boots challenge. It's just become a bit disconnected.
Yeah. Okay, that makes perfect sense. And then just kind of building on that, how do you make sure you engage the whole business, from kind of store colleagues to supply chain to commercial teams on new loyalty initiatives, and keep it front and center?
Yeah, so I know it's a worn-out phrase, but marketing is really key here. Is not just doing it, but telling people what you're doing and how you're doing it, and having an ongoing narrative. I've created a one-pager that I've used in the last 3 businesses I've been in, our marketing plan and strategy on a page. And it's really helpful because I can walk it around the business, and loyalty is one of the key components of here's all the things we do. It's like 4 boxes. It's really simple. One of them is loyalty and data. And it's immediately, recognizable. You go, oh, okay, people know what we're doing and why we're doing, and also know how it fits into our broader strategy. So that matters. And then the loyalty plan, I just build out of there and say, right, here's the loyalty bit of this. And when I come back and talk to people, and particularly the exec, I explain how what we're doing on loyalty fits in. Then it's all about finding the moments through the year when, on your point, Kirsty, you've got things happening like an over 50s event. I don't know, you're launching a new benefit to the Advantage card, you're launching a beauty club, whatever. Where what I do is I get on the calls with our area stores directors, and I'm in there talking to them. I then go the next level down, and then I let them cascade it. And so I'm there, I guess, flying the flag and getting them excited. Then they get excited with their teams, and off we go. And it starts from the top all the way down. So I believe passionately that's the right way to do it. Is if I'm not fronting, or the team aren't, or we're not together fronting this and go, we're so passionate, we're so excited about this, and get the stores particularly involved and excited, then we're not going to achieve our goals. So it starts with that kind of exec alignment and messaging, then messaging it through great communication through the business, great internal comms programs, but importantly, getting the store teams really fired up. And you can't be just jumping on, find out what meetings are in, any meetings, area, regional, operational, in-person meetings, rock up and make your loyalty card exciting thing that you talk about, and that passion becomes infectious.
Okay, great advice there. Moving on now slightly to loyalty trends and the future. What trends are you seeing in the loyalty space currently?
Well, maybe directly in line, particularly with what our friends on the call from Europe are seeing, but obviously digitalization continues at pace. I think use of app more and more for loyalty, your loyalty card in a wallet as opposed to a plastic card. Again, everyone's probably seeing that, but we're definitely seeing acceleration of more digitalization. And that becomes exciting with the application, particularly with data. And I mentioned AI earlier on. Tesco in the UK worked with a really interesting business called Eagle AI. And they're able to do some very, very clever, sophisticated things using data and AI and targeting of offers within their app, especially. Those sorts of things get very exciting. So I think you'll see, I guess, the race towards more and more personalization using data, digital, and AI, definitely. And I think that's exciting. And I think that will get closer and closer to what I think we all want, is a very, very personal experience that I can personally see the benefit that I'm getting, how much money I'm saving, or what I'm getting back. And Kirsty, you and I will have a totally different experience, but that's okay. So be less generic.
We should.
We should be more personal, more tailored. And each time we talk to you, or other brands talk to you, and look to you, go, that's me. You really know me. You understand me, and you know me better. That means you can serve me better, etc., etc. That's the journey we're on. And I think that's what's going to separate the good and the bad loyalty schemes. You know, we've all had the odd email, haven't we, from brands, I don't know, talking to you about things. You go, why have you what? I never even bought that before. I mean, why are you talking about that? Yeah, and it becomes a bit. I might have excused that 2 or 3 years ago. Right now, that's a joke. You get the email and you think, I don't know. Winds me up. And also when you get emails, I get emails addressed to Mark rather than Pete, and you think, I'm not called Mark Markey. Otherwise, my parents have got very bad. Stupid. You can see what's all gone wrong. The data's gone wrong, and Mark Markey who doesn't buy these products, and you think, clearly you're not doing a great job. So personalization, relevance is key, and I get very excited. But I do think there's a race to get there, because the brands that really do it and can really own that customer relationship and can be very relevant and very personal are going to win in the long run. Definitely, they're definitely going to win. And then the people they'll leave in the dust are those that just you sort of, I don't know, you get the emails from, you think, that's just not relevant to my life.
Yeah, I would really appreciate to stop getting the messages about children and children's day out as a firm dog mum. I do not have children, and I still get bombarded with these messages.
And it's crazy, isn't it? Because it becomes very generic, it's just it's so frustrating, I get stuff where you just think, I don't know what example is. Things like, I don't know, it's like savings plans for kids and will writing. There's bits you sort of go, I'm just not at the page. I've either done that or I don't need that. And why are you telling me about that? So yes, so fine. Personalization, use of data, AI, all key.
So just on that, we've got a question in the chat that says, did you succeed to find the exact trigger to engage your customer to do the next purchase?
That's a cracking question. I guess it depends is the answer. So it's different by different customers. But there's definitely, I think the getting people in a regime is probably one of the best examples of how we do that, and probably the easiest way. So I take something like number 7. I'm getting into plugging products mode now, but we do this amazing product called Future Renew. It's a range, and basically it regenerates your skin. So you put it on, it basically reverses any skin damage, whether sun damage or anything. It's an amazing product. As you can see, I'm glowing today because I'm actually 78 years old. You wouldn't know it, but
we'll share the link with you guys afterwards, so you can all go and buy it.
But with that, through the Advantage card, getting people in from it, you're buying it for the first time, we get you on the Advantage card, then getting you then in a regime which is actually you bought this, but you could have bought this, and you could have bought that, and then this is when you need to replenish that, and here's an offer linked to that with points. So where we've seen it work the best is when you can link it to some form of product replenishment or experience journey that gives you a legitimate reason to come back again, and targets that's around a loyalty card. Outside that, I guess you're connecting to threads or brands that people like, that works well. But actually the rocket fuel is when you get this, I'm in a regime and it links to loyalty, and then I can connect products and things that are around that thing that are super relevant to you. Then it becomes, just a great customer experience and very powerful. It's like rocket fuel. Yeah.
Okay, so then we've talked a little bit about personalization already, but we also have a question: what role does personalization play in your customer communication? So do you have any specific examples of how you guys are using it currently?
Yeah, it matters a lot. I mean, we have, the only fun we have in our business is we have personalization in the digital team that I don't run, and personalization in my team that obviously I do run. And so our fun with personalization is how you keep coordinated and joined up when everyone's trying to do it with the best of intention. So coordination is a challenge and opportunity. Where we see it, but Adobe helps us do it really well. I guess the replenishment example I gave a minute ago being one, but actually just that bit around. We've gone into the professional hair care market this year, and knowing what type of hair people have got, and then what kind of products would fit with that is probably a really good example of the more we found out, the more we could be able to personalize and make that experience even better for people as well. Some of the AI stuff we've done has been interesting too. And please don't take away from this, we've sussed AI completely. I don't think
I think we're all on a journey with that one. So
anyone that says they have is probably I don't need to take a look in the mirror.
They also won't have sussed it tomorrow, because AI will change again tomorrow. So
it's changing right now as we speak, isn't it? Because exactly. But we found some good use of that to just use data to go right. How do we word this in a way that it's more wording and imagery we're using? We're never going to use AI to create fake people. Just to be really clear, I might create a fake beach or a fake bucket and spade, but never fake people. You never would as a healthy beauty retailer. But just to make that content even sharper. And some of that's helping us, again, put the right image and the right message together with the right offer as those combination bits. And we're learning fast, but we're seeing some great results from that too.
So then looking a little bit further ahead, do you have a 5-year vision for your program that you can share?
We definitely have a vision for that. I tend to find 5-year time horizon is a bit like we're all going to be in flying cars and hoverboards. And it's like, I could have said, can any of us right now imagine what 2029 is actually going to look like? I seriously can't. Golly, scary. We'll nearly be in 2030. Flipping out. I mean, seriously,
I don't think we could have predicted the last 5 years, to be fair. So
yeah. And if I'm not holidaying on the moon in the next 5 years, something's gone very wrong. So I find it very hard that time horizon. So I'm more of a 2 to 3 year time horizon because that's more realistic, to be honest. So the question is brilliant, but I'm just trying to give that context to give a brilliant question and okay answer. 2 3 years, yes, a very clear sense of what we want to do and how we want to do it. But on your point, Kirsty, a second ago but with the best will in the world, everything's so fast moving, you've got to be ready to react. And so, yes, we've got a plan. Yes, we know where we're going and what we're doing, but we've built enough flexibility in where we know this landscape is changing. We're going to have to react. And also your loyalty program now is so overlapping with your IT, your AI, your data, your digital program that you can't just do the thing on its own. You go, well, there's that thing that's going to knock onto that thing, to that thing, to that thing. So it's multi-dimensional and complex. We're I can say this because we're in the public domain. We're replatforming our website over the next couple of years to Salesforce, so that's a really important part of that. So we're moving off Adobe, we'll be on Salesforce, so that's exciting, but that creates opportunities and challenges with it too. But that will enable personalization, more use of real-time data. So yeah, I've got a clear view, but yeah, you've got to stay flexible because who knows what exciting things are going to come our way in the next couple of years.
Fair enough. Let's take a little bit of a deep dive into some of your benefits that you offer right now. We've also got a question in the chat that we can probably just cover really quickly when we start on the benefits, because we've got asked, do you have specific tiers in your loyalty program?
No, it's, I mean, the closest in terms of tiering would be, well, so in the sense that different people get different offers that are more personalized, I guess that's a form of tiering, but using a quite sophisticated modeling we've got. But the points themselves are, it's a democratized loyalty scheme where you get that. The only benefit, I guess, tiering on top of that, like I mentioned, is the club. So if you're an over 60s customer and you're in that club, you get 8 points, not 4. And if you're in the parents club, you get 8, not 4. So there's a bit of sort of tiering. I use the word loosely.
Subcategories of members.
But no, I think where all of this is heading, and I say this in the context of everything I mentioned earlier on with AI and data for loyalty generally, is tiering is a good word. It's sort of it doesn't mean anyone will be worse off. I think everyone should still be, actually should be even more better off because it's even more personalized. But you may find different people get different offers at different times, just simply based on what they need at certain moments. That means there will be more forms of quite sophisticated tiering in what you do. But no, we don't have the equivalent of the Nando's black card or whatever it is that I need in my life. As a massive fan of Nando's.
I don't think we have Nando's on the call to help you with that, I'm afraid.
If anyone knows anyone at Nando's, I really want the black card.
I think they're coming in February.
Okay. The problem is, apparently, I'm told if you ask for it, you're definitely not getting one. So that's why I've just kept quiet. So but apparently that's the way to really enjoy your Nando's experience. But I say that jokingly, but you hear these stories of these, and those are great programs. But I think for us to have it more democratized works really well for us because of our desire to serve people through the journey of life. The fact that most of the core benefits are available to anyone, but there is some layering on top and some personalization is probably the right. I think it's the right thing for us right now.
So then, which member benefit or member benefits are the most important for your members and why?
Oh, it does. Yeah. I'll tell you what, there's a tricky balance, this one, because points still matter because and they matter now more than ever because so many loyalty schemes, like I said at the top of the call, have devalued points or taken points away. Points, when loyalty schemes first started, points were the big thing, and now other schemes have made them less important, which has made what we offer more important because it's given more value. And people go, oh wow, you still get points that are really worth something. So therefore, people really value that because they see other schemes haven't valued it. But the immediate benefits we offer, like the 10% off Boots own brand, is really valued too because I think we've got a good mix of what I'd call jam today and jam tomorrow. So they value this sense of I can get something immediate right now, but actually I know there's real value in what I save for the future. And it both feel tangible. I think the sense I get from looking at research is some loyalty schemes are harder to fathom. You're in it, but you're not quite sure what you're getting. there's definitely a very good high awareness of what you get with our scheme, which I think is part of the value why people use it so frequently, because they get it, they understand it, as opposed to thinking, I mean, we've all got loyalty schemes in our wallets or on our phones. I won't name any where you go, I can't remember the last time I used that or scanned it, because frankly, I don't think I'll get anything for it. Yeah, that's a shame, isn't it? But thankfully, ours isn't on that list. It's on the happy list.
Yeah, definitely. I would agree with that as far as your brand is concerned. Then we had a question come in before the chat that says, how do you work directly with the beauty brands in terms of your loyalty program? Obviously, we talked about the media a little bit earlier. But then is there any crossover or collaborative programs with beauty brands that have their own customer loyalty programs?
Yeah, that's a super question. Yeah, there are many that do. I think some we have beauty specialists in a number of our stores, and some work specifically for brands where they collect data and they're registering on a database. And then there is very direct collaboration there around cross-referencing and making sure, if someone is signed up to a supplier's database, they're also involved with the Advantage card, that we can offer them sort of the double whammy of benefit and contact. So there is a good degree of coordination where we can see that, and I think that's got to be a good and a healthy thing overall. That becomes particularly important on more sort of experiential elements, like we do a lot more sort of skin scanning and stuff in store, where suppliers will want to capture data on someone's skin profile, then can make sure they serve them the right products when they come in store next, and people can see their regime. And then the more we understand the Advantage card, the more we can offer benefits. And so yes, so a good question. I think it's really important.
And then we've also got the question, do you see opportunities for members to use their points outside of the Boots ecosystem? So I guess more similar to the Tesco Club card there, to give members more options for redemption.
Yeah, it's I think so. Well, yes and no. I think so. Okay, so I don't answer vaguely. I'm open to it, but I think what I love with our scheme is it's very tight on health and beauty and the things we do. So we don't give you like 10% off skiing holidays or something. I mean, it's sort of, you go, because you might go, why are you doing that, Boots? So I really like the sense of the benefits are in that an ecosystem about the brand. We don't do discounts off theme parks, for example, which, I mean, other brands do that brilliantly. Also, there's a bit like if lots of people are doing it, it's not unique anymore. So I'm not against it, but I don't think we as a team have yet found something that sort of unlocks that in a way where we feel, oh, that's it. I think we've done a good job of keeping it quite tight in our own ecosystem and also our supplier base. So we don't use the Advantage card to promote anything outside of our supplier base. And one exception is we did a promotion with people like Jet2, where we had a tie-in because they were involved with Love Island, and so and then we had a great connection of cross-marketing each other. That was brilliant, and that fitted with Love Island, so it makes sense. But I worry again. I'd hate to get to a point where we end up sort of spamming your customer base, either intentionally or inadvertently, of things that they just think. I don't. Will writing is a great example I mentioned earlier on. You got an email from Boots saying, "Here's a great will writing service from Joe Blogg Solicitors." I think most people would go, "What?" And you put it in a bit. Even if you're in the market for will writing, you go, "Why are Boots writing to me about wills?" It just doesn't make sense. So I think having it in our ecosystem really matters. I think it builds the credibility of, and again shows that it's more personalised and tailored. I think we'd see a higher unsubscribe rate on emails and consent generally if we started going down too much of a rabbit hole on it. So yeah, so I've open-minded it, but I see the challenge as well. Yeah.
But I guess it's more important to keep it in the same health and beauty area, and then also maintain the trust of your customers rather than kind of just give them big offers.
Yeah, I mean, we're trusted as much as the NHS in the UK, and you don't want to. I'd never want to lose that trust with customers ever. It really matters. So I think it's an important point. You need to hold on to that. It's very special.
So then one of the things that did surprise me a little bit when I was looking around on the Boots website, because I'm very familiar with Boots, but don't always go on the website, was the Boots Kitchen Appliances partnership. Where you can, I think you collect points when you buy some kitchen appliances.
Yeah, this is true. We do. We have a partnership, and it's interestingly, the reason for this story is Boots of old used to do kitchen appliances back in the day.
Okay.
I'm remembering it through. I don't know. We used to sell. I don't know, toasters. and used to come into Boots and used to get all sorts of wonderful stuff that you used to get. So we're sort of known for it historically, but it's something that we decided a few years ago to sort of keep going, and we partnered with different organisations to allow us to do that, because it's an extension of what people know we do. So yes, we do offer points on those bits, but I guess back to my earlier point, what we've done is build out something that we were sort of historically known for. It's funny though, I guess just want to contradict myself later. I'm now smiling at myself because I remember the days when Boots used to sell music. So I'm now thinking, why don't we sell vinyl? Because people still think we do. Some people might still think we did that back in the 1980s. We have we have an amazing archive here. And you go and look at all the Christmas gift guides. I looked at one from like 1984. It's fascinating. We sold computers, computer games, records, cassettes, toasters, all sorts of ones. So some of that we kept going because it's in the brand history. But I guess some people look at me and think, I never knew you did that. But if you're a child of the 70s and 80s, you knew we did that stuff, and therefore it's a legitimate good reason to do it. But yeah, I wouldn't see us going beyond what we do already in that space. But yeah, we do all sorts of stuff. We do air fryers, and so if you're looking for a good air fryer and coffee makers and stuff, come to us.
Okay, nice little plug for Christmas presents there. So I just have a couple more questions for you, which focus a little bit on kind of your advice around renewing and launching a program. So what is your advice to anyone renewing or launching a loyalty program? And in particular, because this comes up for us a lot, how best to approach the C-suite and get their backing?
So I think it's all about what problem you're trying to address and why renewing your scheme or launching your scheme is the answer to that. What's the burning platform? So it might be that you're worried you haven't got enough or any first-party data and your business won't grow without it. It might be that you're seeing huge competition in the markets you're in and you have no way to retain. So I feel it's like, go to the heart of what's the business problem or challenge you're trying to address. Get everyone aligned that that's the problem. That's the thing in the room that's on fire. And then create your narrative around why what you're trying to do with loyalty is the answer. Then I think you've got a very close, and hopefully the business will be aligned of going, we all agree this is the problem. Now you've got to get people to agree that this is the answer. But if you haven't got people to agree what the problem is, then you're on a bit of a hiding to nothing in the first place. So start there, start with the problem. The issues are as follows, therefore this is what we're doing. Really important. Then I think it just gives you huge permission to go, way beyond that. It's very exciting.
So then once we have got the C-suite on board, are there any advice or watch outs from a kind of customer communication point of view, or when we're thinking about specific benefits?
I think back to my earlier point on the advantage card, I think integrity really matters in these schemes. You enter a contract with customers that is where they are, in effect, it's about data. So you know what customers buy, you know more about their lives. That's very, very special. It's a relationship. So it's, don't take that for granted. Think up front where the do's and don'ts are, of what you will and won't do. Make that very clear to customers and create something amazing that builds relationships in the long run. Don't be forced into the quick buck of like, oh, you got a lot of data, therefore let's do something with it for the sake of it. No, it's special, protect it. And I think being very clear up front with those exec conversations and other conversations of, this is what our loyalty scheme is about, this is where the integrity lies, we will do this, we won't go beyond this, I think is really important. And just stop losing the plot of, and I think if I look at the advantage card, I think the reason it's sort of, lost some traction 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago is just because it sort of lost direction, lost alignment. Is, if you can stay on point, stay focused, see the value, and look at the integrity of what you're doing, hold on to that, then that's, you're winning half the battle already.
Great, thank you so much. Heidi, I don't know whether you are coming back to say bye to everyone.
Yeah,
I think we've also managed to cover all the questions in the Q&A as
well done.
Slotted them in where I could. So
it was fantastic, and I was just listening very acutely, and I've got some key takeaways actually from this. So good summary. So yes, there's a race towards more personalization using data, digital and AI. That was your sort of look into the future, Pete. That's what I took. AI is changing as we speak. How do we keep up? I mean, it's incredible. Like you were saying, Kirsty, it's happening now. So we're always on this journey. Points still matter at Boots. There's always conversations around whether points actually do matter and if they're being stripped away. And when you want to relaunch or launch, you need to get people to agree the problem first. and then present why loyalty is the answer. I think that was the most succinct answer to that question I've ever heard, which is brilliant. It's straightforward advice. But the most important thing I took away was that Pete doesn't like emails from will writers.
Yeah, very important. Don't send me anything about will writing services. Straight in the dustbin.
And you forgot that he wants a Nando's black card, so you know.
Yeah.
Well,
If anyone,
we'll put you in touch with Nando's in February.
all I want for Christmas is my Nando's black card.
I wanted to say thank you so much, Pete. Thank you so much, Kirsty. And thank you to our audience. Now, thank you very much for taking the time, and hopefully your questions have been answered.
Thank you.
Pete and Kirsty, would you mind just hanging on just 2 minutes while we say goodbye to the rest of the
thanks for joining us.
Thanks very much, everybody. And we'll see you hopefully again in February, and we'll have some more content. So see you all soon. We've got lots of cheers, and we'll let them all go.